Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, glories to Prabhupada. So we'll continue our discussion on chapter 12, pure devotional service from verse 13. So this is verse 13 and 14. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuneva cha nirmamo nirankara samtukha sukha kshami santushta satatam yogi yadatma drida nischaya mayarpit mano buddhir yo mad bhakta same priya. One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So, in the next 8 verses from 13 to 20, Krishna talks about the qualities that endear a jiva to him. So he has talked about the various rungs of the yoga ladder, right from the bottom to from doing nishkam karma to the top, ananya bhakta. Now these qualities that he speaks about cut across all of them. So these are the general quality that Krishna encourages, that his devotees or aspiring devotees encourage. So in total, Krishna will talk about 36 qualities in these 8 verses. 5 of them are in relationship to Krishna. 5 of them are in relationship to other jivas. Qualities of one jiva relating to another jiva. And 26 are qualities that the jivas develop in themselves. So in this way, Krishna talks about the 36 qualities. Of these 36 qualities, we see that 12 qualities are described by Krishna in this 2 verses. So we'll quickly go over them. So first is Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. So Adveshta means non-envious towards all living entities. So how can one be non-envious? Krishna says by being Maitra, friendly, and Karuna. Karuna means kind or merciful. So by the presence of light, darkness automatically goes. So Adveshta, the non-enviousness towards all living entities, will automatically go if one develops the quality of Maitra, friendly, and Karuna, being kind or compassionate. Then how can these 2 qualities be developed? So Krishna says by nirmama, by relinquishing any sense of proprietorship. Because enmity generally comes when one says this is mine and this is yours. So that divisiveness. So Krishna says nirmama and nirankara. So nirankara is without false ego, which means that even give the sense of proprietorship on one's body. So then all forms of distinction will be dissolved. So one may say that while the person may act in a friendly or a kind way to others, the others may not act in that way to this person. They may inflict different kinds of hardships. So Krishna says that such a person should be for such situation, the person should be samadukha sukha. That if he is put in happiness or distress, he is the same. And for those who are putting him in happiness and distress, the 7th quality is kshami, that he is tolerant or forgiving. With such a situation, Krishna says santushta satatam, that a person is always satisfied, yogi. engaged in devotion. So, yatatma is the 10th quality, that while engaged in devotion, the person is self-controlled, dridha nishchaya, with determination. And the 12th quality is mai arpit mana buddhi, that now the person is engaged with me on using mind and intelligence. So the first 8 qualities we see are more in relationship to the other jivas, to the material world. Non-envious, friendly, kindly, kind. And the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th qualities are with respect to Krishna, yogi, that one engaged in devotion, yatatma. In the devotion is self-controlled, dridha nishchay, with determination, and mai arpita mana buddhi, with mind and with intelligence. Okay, next verse. Verse 15. Yasmano dvijate loko lokano dvijate chayaha harshamarsha bhayodveger muktaya sachami priyaha. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. So generally it is understood there are 4 states of consciousness which are given in the 3rd line of the verse. Harsha, Marsh, Bhayodvega. So Harsha is joy, which is at getting something enjoyable. Amarsha is envy, when somebody else gets those items that you want. Then Bhaya, fear, is seeing or imagining unfortunate conditions. And Udvega is anxiety, that is caused when one thinks that how can I survive? What do I need to survive? So here Krishna is talking about the qualities of his devotees, that not only do they not experience it themselves, they also do not inflict it on others. So they will not cause disturbance to others due to fear, because they are compassionate. They will not cause distress because they are not hostile. Now the acharyas say that it is important to understand that Krishna is putting these qualities over here, not just in this verse but all the 36 qualities, to indicate that these qualities are bestowed by him on his devotees. So in Bhagavatam 5:18-12, it is said that one who has unflinching devotion for the personality of Godhead has all the good qualities of the demigods. Now those who follow the indirect path, not of bhakti, they need to cultivate these qualities. But for those who are following the path of devotion, these qualities are bestowed upon them by the Supreme Lord. Now we'll see that these qualities are again repeated in 12:17. And the repetition is for emphasis, and the repetition is also to indicate that it is difficult to attain these qualities by one's own endeavor, but through the process of bhakti, all these qualities are manifested. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that actually because the devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness and engaged in devotional service, such material circumstances cannot move him. Next verse. Verse 16. Anapekshah suchir daksha udasino gatavyataha sarvaram parityagi yo mad bhakta same priyaha. My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for for some result is very dear to me. So anipeksha means devoid of expectation from material world. And nishphara means that the person does not have aspirations for enjoying even what comes on its own accord and is without expectations. So not only is the person the person does not have expectation to enjoy the work that he does, so that is anapeksha. He is also does not have any aspirations to accidentally enjoy, so that is nishpara. Then suchi is internal and external purity. Daksha is skillful in understanding the instructions of the guru and deliberating on the meanings of the scriptures. He is udasina. Udasina means neutral. He does not show partiality. Then gatavyata. That means that he is without distress. So even when he is wronged by others, he will not exhibit distress. And then finally, sarvarambha parityagi, which means that any practices that are contrary to devotion, he will give them up. So he will focus on the path of conducive to bhakti only. So Prabhupada also gives the similar summary. A devotee is expert because he fully knows the essence of life and is convinced of the scriptures. Devotee never takes part in a particular party because he is carefree. He is never pained because he is free from all designations. He knows that his body is a designation, so if there is some bodily pain, he is free. The pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principles of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relation. Next verse. Verse 17. Yona hrishyati na dveshati na sochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktimanya same priya. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. So this verse is essentially identical to 12.15, repeated for emphasis. Prabhupada says that a pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gain and loss, nor is he very much anxious to get a son or disciple, nor is he distressed by not getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he does not lament. Similarly, if he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He is transcendental in the face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious and sinful activities. He is prepared to accept all kinds of risks for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of his devotional service. Such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Okay, go to the next verse. Verses 18 and 19. Samaha shatrao cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayoho shitoshna sukha dukkheshu samaha sangha vivarjataha tulla ninda stutir morne santushto yena kenachet aniketah stira matir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is always engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. So some of the, and we again see the repetition over here. So some of the qualities that are mentioned here is Sangha Varjita. That means he gives up the association of material person. Then Tulya Ninda Stuti. So Ninda means criticism and Stuti means praise. So he is the same whether he is being criticized or praised. Then Mauni, he is controlled in speech. Also means that always contemplating the Lord. Then Santushta is he is satisfied with whatever comes, whether it is agreeable or disagreeable. Then Aniketa means he has no fixed residence, or it means that he is devoid of the illusions that arise from material property. And then Sthiramatir means that he is convinced in his knowledge. Right? So we see qualities like Tulyaninda Sutta and Sanghavarjita and Santushta, Aniketa, they are repeated, and the purpose of the repetition is emphasis. So in the yoga ladder, Krishna had spoken about different category of devotees, right? So there is the Nirapeksh, the Ananya Bhaktas, the Nirapeksh Bhaktas, pure devotees, and these qualities will appear the most in them. Then there is the Paranishta Bhaktas, which are one category below the aspiring devotees, and the qualities will appear in them but to a lesser extent. And there is the Sanishta Bhaktas, who are mixed devotees, materialistic devotees, you can say, and the qualities will also appear in them but even to a lesser extent. Prabhupada writes in the purport that one who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualifications. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. Right? Important point. So that's why Krishna is giving all these qualities, that as one makes advancements in the devotional service, one may ask this question of themselves: how do I know I am making advancement? Then one can look at these 36 qualities and tick them off. That, or one can, because it's difficult to be objective about yourself, one can ask a peer or one spiritual master, and they can say that yes, I see you are more santushta. I see that you have become more mauni or tulya nindastuti. Right? So as one sees these qualities develop, they are a barometer of one's developing bhakti. Okay. Next verse is our last verse. Verse 20. Yeto dharmamritam idam yathoktam paryupasate shadhadanam parma bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So this last verse is a summation. So Krishna had spoken about a list of qualities in the previous verse. Here he uses the word ye tu dharmartham. So tu indicates differentiation. So what is the difference between the mood in this verse and the previous verse? The previous verses talked about devotees who are aspiring to cultivate certain specific qualities according to the individual nature. But this verse talks about those who desire all of the qualities. And how do they aspire to achieve these qualities? through the practice of bhakti. So that's why in the previous verses Krishna concluded by saying me priya. So me priya means that they are dear to me. In this verse he concludes by saying ativa me priya, that they are extremely dear to me. Why? Because they are so anxious to be with Krishna that they ambitiously aspire to cultivate all these qualities that Krishna has mentioned. Or as Krishna says, that they follow the imperishable path of devotional service, which means that the way that they are aspiring to cultivate all these qualities is through the path of bhakti. So Krishna's affection for devotees sincerely following devotional service is further intensified. So in conclusion, in the 12th chapter, Krishna talks about the astonishing qualities of bhaktis, whose goal can be attained by everyone and which is very easy to perform. Then it is also placed at a higher rank than karma, jnana and astang. So the acharyas say that karma, jnana and astang are like neem fruit. So neem is very bitter, and they say bhakti is sweet like grape juice. But there are some people who like bitter things, so they take to that. But Krishna's affection is reserved for those who crave for the sweet taste of pure devotional service. Srila Prabhupada says that fortunately one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, he does not need to undergo step-by-step improvements in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad-gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. So this is the end of the 12th chapter. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.